Instead of swinging a axe,
You must surgically alter the past.
change the right set of decisions,
1.
and you save them all.
Temporal crossover initiated.
Eternal Threads is a story-driven puzzle game about time manipulation, choice, and consequence. The story is that you work for an agency in the distant future that discovered time travel and then really screwed up time for everyone. Now they are painstakingly trying to repair the timelines by correcting one event after another, without causing any more nasty butterfly effects. You are assigned an event that resulted in the erroneous death of 6 individuals in a house fire, and you can only adjust the events 1 week before the fire. It's also worth noting that this game has a lot of pretty heavy adult themes, including drugs, alternative sexual lifestyles, mental health issues, emotional abuse, unplanned pregnancy, and, unsurprisingly, some pretty gruesome deaths. This is not a game to play with your kids. After the introduction, you are quickly transported to the 3-story house where you will spend the entirety of the game. You would think that this small space would start to feel restrictive, but there are enough secrets and layers that the house itself almost becomes a character in the game. Your task is to move along the storyline to see events, change decisions, piece together the cause and effect of each action. Now, there are 2 modes that you can play this game in: the regular mode that has 197 events and 54 key decisions, or the abridged version with 121 events and 31 decisions. But in the abridged version, it is impossible to fully explore the house or to achieve the best ending. I'm honestly not sure why anyone would play the abridged version, but if you're on the fence and want to see if the game grabs you before you commit your valuable time, then the abridged might be something to try. This review is based on the regular mode. At many of the events in the timeline, you just see a short scene that tells you more about the lives of the characters, but some events will give you a chance to change a key decision. You can then see the events that were affected by the change and trace the results through the timeline until you reach another critical decision. You can jump around the timeline at will, going chronologically or starting from the fire and working your way backwards, perhaps trying to follow the events that affect one character at a time, although good luck with that as the character threads are quite tangled up, or you can hop around randomly to experience the story like a jigsaw puzzle of a Picasso painting. I found the timeline mechanics to be very well organized, with each event tagged to the people involved, indicators of who lives and dies with the current configuration, titles for each event that are added after you view them, which is essential with 197 events to sort through, filters for seeing which events are affected by the changes you've already made, clear parallel events that can be activated with the right configuration, like switching tracks of a train, and clearly labeled room locations for each event. This is important because there's a number of inaccessible rooms in the beginning that you have to figure out how to access, and until you do, you can save time by skipping events that happen in those rooms. Those are your tools, and the task is clear, but it is not easily achieved. These characters seem to be determined to accidentally die in the fire, and they will keep you as busy as a parent of a 2-year-old with no self-preservation instinct. One example, minor spoilers here, is a character that originally dies in the fire because he took sleeping pills, but you can persuade him instead to go out to a pub with a friend, which leaves him too drunk to wake up when the fire starts. It seems like you're back to square one, but maybe this is the right thread to pull? Or will it unravel everything and instead you should find a way to get rid of his sleeping pills? The choice is yours, and you'll spend a lot of time hopping back and forth between the events to untangle this eternal spiderweb. Now that we've used every metaphor for time manipulation possible, the only question left is, should you play it? But first, you should know that this game is going to be completely free from the Epic Game Store for 1 week starting October 19th, 2023. Claim it during that week and you'll keep it forever, even in most alternative timelines. In case you didn't know, the Epic Game Store gives away 1 or 2 big or small games for free every week, and for the past 4 years we've been playing and reviewing every one of them to let you know what's worth your, say it with me now, time. So subscribe and you'll never be caught in an erroneous timeline where you don't have any good games to play. So look, I'm probably gonna take some heat for this one, and no pun intended that time, I swear, because I've recently given a thumbs down to some very beloved classic games that are much better known than this one. And let's be clear, Eternal Threads is not Game of the Year, and there are a lot of things that I'd like to see improved, perhaps in a sequel. For example, the house could definitely be bigger, or there could be scenes elsewhere outside of the house, and the fact that most events don't require any action on your part does nudge it more towards interactive movie than game. Also, I would like the key decisions to have more than 2 options, although I know the logistics of the exponential expanse of options is a lot to ask from an indie developer. If you're exclusively an FPS gamer, or someone who always skips dialogues in games, this isn't for you, because you'll end up skipping 95% of the game. However, there was something about the Eternal Threads that I just couldn't put down. And for me, that is one of the most valuable measures of a game. Maybe it's the very short bite-sized events that kept me thinking, okay, I'll just check one more. And it might be the puzzle element, leaving me thinking that maybe in the next event I'll find the key piece that reveals the whole picture and shows me the way to get everyone out of the fire. Maybe I enjoy a little too much having the power to nudge complex characters in a different direction to see what happens, like playing God with all the power and frustration that brings. Maybe it's the voyeurism, which I don't think is a strong impulse of mine, but I did feel myself start to get obsessed with learning every little secret these characters had and unlocking every hidden door and drawer, to save them. But most likely, it's the idea of time manipulation and the complex nature of human choices that I found fascinating. It would have been very easy to make this mechanic feel contrived or simplistic, but it was very well executed and became a self-guided journey into the flawed, tragic, beautiful, and almost unsavable reality of human nature. It's an important life lesson that it's extraordinarily hard to help someone who doesn't want to be helped, and this game manages to capture that poignant realization. So if you're looking for a touching story about the life-changing power of the small choices we make, or an engaging puzzler based on the butterfly effect of time manipulation, then I think you should give Eternal Threads a try. If you like this type of game, we also received The Vanishing of Ethan Carter for free from Epic a couple years ago, so you might have it in your backlog, and you should check out that review next. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.